Welcome, everyone. You know GraFx Studio. You've seen the demos, you've followed the releases. And yet, some of you are still running primarily on GraFx Publisher. Studio has been moving fast, really fast. And there's a good chance you've been making decisions without the full picture. Today, we cover 6 topics essential for a successful transition. By the end, you'll know where Studio moves things forward, how to start without disrupting anything, and what your first step looks like. And if you're watching live, we have a special treat at the end, something we haven't shown publicly before. Watching the recording? Reach out, and we'll make sure you get to see it. Don't hesitate to drop your questions in the chat. Colleagues will answer them while we present. Don't miss any of it. That's the FOMO. Let's start with the thing that holds most people back. When you hear transition to Studio, the first image is a project. Rebuild every template, migrate the data, retrain the team. That picture is wrong. Publisher and Studio are 2 separate engines, different templates, different logic. But they connect through the same layer, your front end, your portal. If you've built your own portal or integration, Studio connects to it the same way Publisher does. Different API, but the same logic you already know. Straightforward to extend, not a new project. If you're looking for a ready-made solution, that's GraFx Experience, the out-of-the-box portal frontend built on the same API. Either way, the principle is the same. From inside the portal, it doesn't matter which engine is running underneath. A Publisher document and a Studio design system look and feel identical to the person using them.
Hi Lina, hi everybody. Alright, so a brand manager needs to work on 2 campaigns today. One is an existing Publisher template she's been using for months, and the other is a new GraFx Studio design system that just went live. Here's what she sees. A collection of templates presented as campaign visuals. She doesn't think about engines or APIs. She picks what she needs and gets to work. The portal opens the editor for this template. In this case, that's GraFx Publisher. The user sees their campaign material in their interface. They work, they export, and that's it. Now, let me go back and open this one. This time, the portal opens GraFx Studio. Same experience for the user. A different campaign, but a similar user interface. The user has no idea a different engine just loaded. They don't need to know. Only the people who build the integration, i.e. the integrators and the developers. They'll see the difference. Same concepts, just a different API. Everyone else just sees their work.
So, there's no big bang. You can start without a big migration project. There's no need for retraining. You build the future alongside the present, and your users never feel the difference. Now, we know what the next question is. But we have hundreds of Publisher templates. Do we need to convert all of them? No, you don't need to convert anything. Start building new campaigns in GraFx Studio from here on. And if some Publisher templates are high traffic, heavily used, those are worth an early migration. Not because they have to move, but because you'll feel the benefit sooner. New campaigns in Studio, existing ones running untouched for now. High priority ones migrated when the moment is right. Your customers never experience an interruption. So that's topic 1. Now, let's talk about why do you want to switch at all. And we'll start with a topic that comes up in almost every conversation: print. There is one question we hear from Publisher customers more than any other. But can Studio handle serious print work? Yes, Studio handles serious print work. Fully, production ready. CMYK and spot colors defined in your brand kit. Fonts embedded or outlined, your choice. Bleed and crop marks built in. And the PDF output runs through PDF Toolbox. If you live in print, you already know what that means. With brand kit themes, coming soon, you define separate channels for print and digital, each with its own color profiles. But here's what goes beyond Publisher. The same design system that generates your print PDF can also export a PNG, an MP4, or HTML for digital signage. One design system, every channel, without duplicating your work. And for those with existing designs in InDesign or Photoshop, transparency, blend modes, and opacity now import directly into Studio.
A campaign manager needs to deliver two things by the end of the day: a press-ready print file for a poster and a digital asset for the same campaign. Same brand, same content, different formats. In GraFx Studio, she doesn't start twice. Here's the design system she's working from. You can see the brand kit on the left, colors defined in CMYK, and with spot color support, exactly as you would set them up in a professional print workflow. I'll export this now as a PDF. CMYK output, full bleed, crop marks included. This is not a preview. This is the file that goes to the printer. Now, let me switch to the digital layout. Same design system, same content, same brand. PNG for a static digital asset, MP4 if you need motion, and HTML for a digital display screen. Pick the format, the design system handles the rest. That's what it looks like when print and digital come from the same design system.
As you saw, GraFx Studio handles print and digital from the same source, with the same brand rules applying to both. Next up is self-service, allowing your end user to interact in a controlled, on-brand way. We call it controlled freedom. Every template builder knows this tension. Give users too much freedom, and the output goes off brand. Lock everything down too tightly, and users feel frustrated and call you instead. Or worse, they bypass the brand and go DIY. Studio gives you a much more precise toolkit to resolve this. You define exactly what a user can touch and how. Frame constraints on images and text boxes. How they can resize. How they can reposition. You know what, Raph? Let's go and see it.
Marketing professionals know how to get their audience to take action. They know about imagery, about messaging, and what to highlight to create a sense of urgency and trigger impulse buys. However, they're not graphic designers, so they need an interface that lets them exercise their craft without compromising brand integrity. Let me show you how GraFx Studio can do this. Let's say a marketing officer needs to produce a poster for a store in her region. Online ordering is not on par with projections, so she'll need to adapt the poster to trigger an impulse. She can replace the lifestyle image and crop it to focus on the subject's emotional response. She can change the headline, as well as use a different color to draw attention. She can also add text to the claim, and thanks to AutoGrow, the promo code will automatically reposition itself below. She can also use a different color on different parts of the text to reinforce a sense of urgency. Lastly, she can change the promo code and use a specific character style to highlight it. And you might ask, well, what about the logo and the legal disclaimer? In this particular case, these are not editable elements. Now, even though a lot was changed, it was done with controlled freedom, using GraFx Studio's user constraints. The template designer defines what can be edited and how within brand guidelines. And then marketing professionals can step in to customize the content.
When this is in place, end users feel in control. The brand stays consistent, and you spend far less time cleaning things up. Now let's look at what's inside the templates themselves. Because in the last 6 months, Studio shipped functionality that opens up designs you simply couldn't build before. We listen to our customers, and it directly shapes what we build. The clearest signal we've heard is from template designers. You told us what slows you down, what you wish you could do natively. We heard you. Since we last met, several features shipped in GraFx Studio, each one designed to help template designers work faster. To mention a few, text stroke, apply through paragraph and character styles in your brand kit. Drop shadow on every frame type, images, shapes, text frames. Linear multi-stop gradients on shapes with full CMYK, RGB, hex, and spot color support. Frame opacity and alpha channel on every frame type. And bulleted and numbered lists configured through paragraph styles. Features that let you build richer, more expressive templates with batch output in mind without ever stepping outside the brand.
A template designer gets a brief for the new campaign. The creative direction calls for depth. shadows on frames, a gradient background, a transparent overlay, and more. A year ago, that brief would have meant compromises. Today, she builds it natively. Here's what that looks like. A 3-point linear gradient for the background. The color stops are defined using CMYK values from the brand kit for print accuracy. Rounded corners and drop shadow on the image, as well as on the headline and text. This is native. If I change the text, the shadow follows. Next, a background color to highlight the promo code and text stroke to draw attention to the CTA, as well as customization options for the QR code. Namely, she applied a brand color and added a quiet zone. Now, on this next design, we've used a blend mode setting for the lifestyle image, rounded corners on a shape, as well as transparency. And here, style bullet points configured through paragraph styles. Change the style in the brand kit and every template that uses it updates automatically, as you can define your brand kit to sync automatically or only apply upon request.
All of these features are controlled through your brand kit, so every template that uses them stays on brand automatically. That's what we built this for. Next is arguably the one with the most long-term impact. It doesn't just improve a template, it changes how you build and maintain your entire library, components. Here's a question for anyone who manages a large set of design systems. How many times have you updated the same element across a dozen different templates? One change to a pricing block, a product callout, a legal disclaimer, and suddenly you're making 10 updates across 10 different files. Components solve exactly that. A component is a reusable building block with its own layout, variables, and logic. Build it once, use it in any template, any layout, any channel. Update it once, and every template that uses it follows automatically. It's a fundamentally different way of building templates. Instead of a library of files, you maintain a set of building blocks and assemble them into whatever you need. And as you will see later, it's a language that AI also understands. These are building blocks for automated design generation using AI. Phase 1 is live today. Let's show you what it can do.
A local store owner needs to mark down products for tomorrow's sale. He opens the campaign in his portal, selects the 3 products that are impacted, and the design follows automatically. That's 30 seconds, and he's done. Let me show you how that works under the hood. Here's the templates he's working with. A promo poster for print, built entirely in GraFx Studio. Multiple products on a page, each one driven by data. Each element is a component. It has a product image, a product name, and a discount. All fields come from a data source. When I change the data, the component updates immediately. And here's something interesting. The same component can render in different visual styles, depending on the context. Same component, different presentation. Logic decides which one to use. Now, let's run this at scale. I'll connect a CSV with product data and trigger a batch export. GraFx Studio generates each variation automatically. Individual files, print ready from a single template driven by a single data source. That's components, data connectors, and batch output working together.
You build it once, update it once, and every template that uses it follows. This is phase 1. The next phases will take it further. Let me give you a small sneak peek. Imagine you can link a component to a data source. That will also soon be possible. We'll share more soon. The last topic is about what all of this costs you in time and effort to set up, because power without accessibility is in progress. If Studio can do more but takes twice as long to set up, that's a trade-off, not an improvement. So alongside every new feature, the team has been removing friction, bringing tasks that used to need a developer into reach of a template builder. 3 things worth calling out. First, variables from data source. Connect your data source, Studio reads the fields, and creates the variables for you, directly into the UI. No scripting, no developer needed. Second, data connectors. Building a connector to a live data source used to be a developer project. Today, you can describe what you need to an AI coding tool like Claude, and it builds the connector for you. We'll show a quick example. Not to go deep technically, but to make one point clear, the ceiling has moved. Third, take that data source and use it for batch output. You've already seen this in the components demo. Data in, assets out, across any design system and any layout.
A template designer is setting up a new direct mail campaign. The data is already in a spreadsheet. Product names, prices, images, etc. She needs those fields as variables in the template. In the past, she'd ask a developer. Today, she does it herself. Here's how. I connect the product spreadsheet. GraFx Studio reads the columns automatically. Variables are created, named, typed, and ready to use in the template. And here's a data connector pulling live product data from an external source. Price, description, images, all live. The template reflects the current state of the data at all times. The setup that used to take an afternoon is now something a template designer can configure.
Less time on setup, more time on building. Variables from a data source in a few clicks, live data connections without a developer. Batch output from any data source. If you're interested in vibe coding your own data source, let us know. We are happy to provide you with a Claude skill to get you started in no time. That's all 6 topics covered. Side by side, print and digital, controlled freedom, creative freedom, components, productivity. Each one a reason to make the move. Together, a clear picture of where Studio takes you. The question now isn't whether to switch, it's where to start. Pick one template, one use case for you or a customer. Build that one template in GraFx Studio. Put it alongside your publisher templates and see how it feels. Your existing setup keeps running. Nobody notices a transition is happening, but you've started, and that's what matters. Thank you for being here. We hope today gave you the full picture. See you in the next episode.